Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zara and today I am going to be walking you through the books that I read in the month of October and the books that I'm planning to read in the month of November. Another month has gone, more books have been read, so let's kick off. So the first book that I read in the month of October was a play, and that was The Maids by Jean Genet. And this is a story essentially about wealth inequality. It's about two maids who essentially are the maids to their very rich boss. And it's all about class inequality, wealth inequality. It's a really great, quick read. I actually read it because I went to go and see an adaptation of the play. It was a modernized adaptation, which I didn't actually love. I didn't really like the modern elements, to be completely honest with you. But I actually did enjoy the play itself, and I gave it a solid 3.75 stars. Jean Genet is an author and a playwright that I've been wanting to read for ages, and he's written a ton of plays. He's also written a couple of novels that I've mentioned before on my channel, and I'm excited to read more. Then I had a buddy read with Cheryl, and we read The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden, and this one, not my favourite. In fact, I didn't really enjoy it. I thought it was probably one of the most forgettable books I've read in a very long time. It was a 2.5 stars. I can't really tell you much about the plot. I can't really tell you much about the characters. It was very meh. And it hasn't put me off Catherine Arden. I'm definitely going to read her Winter Night trilogy, given the Russian folklore aspect. But overall, I did not really enjoy this one. Then I picked up a short story by one of my favourite authors that hasn't actually been published yet, so I can't really talk about it, but it was a very, very good read and I loved it. Then we had the buddy read pick of the month, and that was Blackwater Part 1, The Flood by Michael McDowell. And this was a really solid start to this. I guess it's like an anthology. I think there's like 10 plus parts to this series. All the books are like 200 pages, very short, and I really enjoyed it. I like Michael McDowell's writing. I kind of like the fact that this first book was really setting the stage. I think the next couple of books are going to be wild, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. This one was a solid 3.5 stars. And I'm definitely going to continue on with the series. Then I read what may be one of my favourite classics of all time. And the only reason why I say it may be one of my favourite classics of all time is because I've only read it once and I need to read it a second time to actually confirm that. But the fact that it's even in contention for that title that is held by very few other books just goes to show that I absolutely adored it. And that is The Counterfeiters by André Gide. This is a French writer that I had never heard of. And I've mentioned this book to loads of people and nobody has ever heard of this author and nobody has ever heard of this book. And that is because it is a super underrated French classic. I don't think Gide really, I don't know, for whatever reason really took off. But this book is just absolutely excellent. It is a book about the artist's struggle. It is a book about identity. It is a book about the search for meaning. And I think the theme that particularly resonated with me was around art and the role of the artist in society. I absolutely loved everything about this book. I will be doing a dedicated review for this one and also some of the previous books that I've mentioned, so watch this space for that in the coming weeks. But this was a easy 5 stars. I actually slowed down my read of the book because I didn't want it to finish. I felt like I was home and it was just amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Watch this space for my full review. Then I picked up another classic, and that is an English classic, and that is 1984 by George Orwell. And I cannot wait to do my deep dive into this book because I loved it. I particularly loved the first half of the book. I think the setup of this book is some of the best, most effective setup I've ever read. And I get why so many people still talk about this book. Like, it is totally worth the hype. It totally holds up. I gave it a 4 stars, and I'll go more into my review about why I gave it 4 stars and not necessarily like a 4.5 or a 5 stars. I did have some issues with one of the characters in this book, and I didn't really like part of the direction. But anyway, I'll go into more of that when I talk about it in depth. But overall, I really, really enjoyed it. And I think it's a book that every single person on this planet needs to read. Then I read another play, and that was Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf by Edward Albee. This is a play that I've had on my list forever. And you'll notice probably over the next couple of months and years to come, I'll be reading more plays because I love plays. I always have. And I've also got a very particular passion for playwriting. And so I'm going to be making more of an effort to work my way through all the plays that I've accumulated over the years. And I think this one is a really solid one. I gave it 4 stars. It's a play really about kind of relationships and also around like parenthood and having children, which was not what I was expecting when I picked this book up. It's pretty wild. Like some of the jokes in this book were like kind of bizarre. I don't know how to explain it. It's a very American humor. Naturally, this book is set in the US, and there were parts of it that I really enjoyed, and there were other parts of it that I personally didn't like purely from a writing perspective, which I know is like blasphemy in the playwriting community because everybody seems to love this play. But I gave it 4 stars. I think it was really solid. I'm going to actually watch an adaptation of this next year, which I cannot wait for. And I'm very excited to read more of Edward Albee's plays because I do think generally he's a very, very good playwright. Then I read The Tyrant's Law by Daniel Abraham. This is the 3rd book in the Dagger and the Coin series. And this one, it was bound to happen, folks. We were bound to hit a book that didn't quite live up to the previous books. This is the 3rd book out of 5, and it definitely has middle book syndrome. Not much really happens. I will say though, the last like 5% of the book was absolutely wild, and I cannot wait to see where it goes next. I think I might actually end up picking the 4th book as my first book of November because I really want to see what is going to happen next, because there is an amazing cliffhanger that I'm so excited to see come to fruition. And yeah, I have a feeling that Daniel Abraham will be back to top form in book 4, and I can't wait to see how it pans out. Final book that I am still in the midst of reading on the final day of October, which is the day that I am filming this video, and that is Sanshiro by Natsume Suseki. And Natsume Suseki, I think, is very quickly becoming one of my favorite Japanese writers. I've read Botchan of his earlier this year. I absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorite books that I've read this year. It's a book that I still think about. It made me laugh out loud multiple times. And Sanshiro still has the charm of Botchan, but I think it's less funny. It's very philosophical. It's all about kind of opening up your world beyond your kind of narrow view when you're younger, you know, when you first go to university and you're exposed to so many new ideas and new people and different ways of thinking. And I'm really, really loving it at the time that I am filming this video. I think I probably will finish this just before the end of the month because I've only got about 30 to 40% left to go, and the book does read quite quickly. So I reckon by the end of this month, I will have finished it. Right now, it's currently tracking at like a 4 stars, but I will confirm that in my November wrap up as well, once I've actually finished the book. Okay, and then that brings me to the month of November. So a couple of things. November is my birthday month. I am a November 16th baby, and you know, I'm not really the sort of person that looks forward to my birthday particularly. I look forward to other people's birthdays. I love celebrating their birthdays, but my own, I don't really care, to be honest with you. It's just a number, and I think these things are a little, I don't know what the word for it is. I'm filming this quite early in the morning. I don't typically film in the morning for this exact reason, because I'm a little bit tongue-tied. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of birthdays of my own, I should say. That does typically mean that I do a little trip. It's a thing that I've done probably the last like 7-8 years. I always do a little solo trip when it's my birthday. So that means that will likely impact my reading. Still don't exactly know where I'm gonna go. Luckily, I am on the cusp of Europe, so most places are like 2 hours away, so it's not that far. But I will decide in the next couple of days where I'm going to go, book it. It'll probably be towards the end of the month because the first couple of weeks of November I'm really busy. So I need to get through the next couple of weeks and then hopefully get a couple of days to myself at the end of the month. I mention that because that often does hinder my reading, but I have a very aggressive reading month for November. And I don't know why I did this to myself, because there's a couple of new books coming out this month that I'm super excited to read. Always when it's my birthday month, I read less generally because my weekends, whereas where I typically read the most, I'm out with friends, with family. It's also one of my family members' birthdays and I celebrate his birthday. One of my closest friends, it's her birthday. So a lot of my weekends, which is where I typically do a lot of my reading, I am out. So I don't know if I'm even going to get through half of these books Who knows? I do tend to read a lot in the evenings. I generally get about an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes in the evening to read, but I have no idea if that's going to be the case this month. Who knows? This was a really long preamble. Let's jump into the books that I am planning to read. Naturally, as I just mentioned, I am likely going to start off the month with The Widow's House by Daniel Abraham. This is book 4 out of 5 in the Dagger and the Coin series. Can't wait to see how this goes. I'm so excited. Then I will likely pick up The Kill by Zola. This is the 3rd book in the recommended reading order by Zola. I was supposed to read it last month, but myself and Michael and Matt, who we are buddy reading one every other month, we didn't get to it because we're all a little bit, well, Michael and I particularly are a little bit behind on our reading. So I'm hoping to pick it up this month. Then we have a new release, which is the 3rd Sea of Storms book by N.C. Scrimgeour. This is a self-published author that I've raved about on my channel many times, and this is the 3rd book in the trilogy. I'm super excited to read this with James. I can't wait. Then I'm going to pick up Haji Murat by Leo Tolstoy. This is a book that I've had on my radar for a couple of months now, and I've been wanting to pick it up, and I can't wait. Then I will likely pick up The Case of Cem. I think it's Cem, not Sem, like C-E-M, because it's a Turkish name. So I think it's Cem. If anybody is Turkish who's watching this, please feel free to correct me. By Vera Mustafchieva. Definitely said that wrong. I really apologize. It's a very cool name though. This is a book set, I believe, during like the kind of height of the Ottoman Empire, which is a period of history that I am super interested in. There's a lot of like social, religious, political, cultural change during like the 15th and 16th centuries in particular in Europe, and obviously Turkey spans Europe and Asia. So yeah, I'm so excited to read this book. Like, I love that period of history and I cannot wait to pick this book up. And I just want to say shout out to Matt for putting this book on my radar in the first place. So I can't wait to buddy read that with him. Then I will try to, I'm going to hedge all of these because I don't know if I'm going to get to any of these, to be honest. We've got Spring Snow by Yukio Mishima. Now, Mishima is an author that I've talked about before on my channel. I've read 2 of his books now, and he is an absolutely wonderful writer. He is Japanese, as you probably guessed. And this is the first book in a quartet. I believe the quartet is the Sea of Fertility Quartet. I could be wrong though. Don't quote me on that. This is like his kind of master series that I'm really, really excited to pick up. Then we have another new release, and I'm so excited for this. And this is going to be one of my like key priorities of this month, and I will definitely get to this book. And that is Strength of the Few by James Islington. This is the 2nd book in the, I forgot the name of the series. What is it called? Is it like the Power trilogy or something? Let's have a look. Hierarchy. Close enough. The Hierarchy trilogy, I believe it's going to be, and I'm so excited to pick this book up. Like, I just cannot wait. I am curious, when I do read this book, would folks like a spoiler-filled review? Would they like me to do like a proper deep dive? Like, let me know down below in the comments like how detailed you want me to go. Like, I'm happy to do like a full hour deep dive talking about everything, theories, stuff like that. But I will only do that if there is interest, because those videos take a lot of time to film. So let me know down below in the comments below. And then the final book that I may or may not get to is 77 Shadow Street by Dean Koontz. This is, I think I mentioned last month, it was on my list. It's one of my best friend's favourite books, and I really want to read Dean Koontz because he seems like a pretty interesting author, but I didn't get to it last month for reasons, and I'm going to try to get to it this coming month. So I think in terms of the books that I will absolutely get to, there are 3. So we've got Strength of the Few by James Islington. I will definitely read that. The 3rd Sea of Storms book, I apologise, I forgot the name of the title, by N.C. Scrimgeour. I will definitely be reading that. And then the 4th Dagger and the Coin book, I will definitely be reading that. I will almost certainly be reading Haji Murat by Tolstoy as well. And then also The Case of Cem. Those are like the 5 I think I will almost certainly get to. And then the others, who knows? I mean, who knows if I'll even get to these ones. So it will be a surprise to us all at the end of next month. That's it, folks. Those are the books that I read in the month of October and the books that I'm planning to read in the month of November. Let me know down below in the comments what you read. Were there any hits or misses? I always love to hear this. And let me know what you're planning to read in the month of November. I'll see you down below in the comments. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you very, very soon. Thanks for watching, stay safe as always, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.